सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणि नमोऽस्तुते। नमस्तेऽस्तु महामाये श्रीपीठे सुरपूजिते शङ्खचक्रगदाहस्ते महालक्ष्मी नमोऽस्तुते। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण परमात्मने नमः। श्लोका। तस्मादसक्तः सततं कार्यं कर्म समाचर असक्तो ह्याचरन् कर्म परमाप्नोति पूरुषः। कर्मणैव हि संसिद्धिम् आस्तिदा जनकादयः लोकसङ्ग्रहमेवापि सम्पश्यन् कर्तुमर्हसि। यद्यदाचरति श्रेष्ठः तत्तदेवेतरो जनः स यत्प्रमाणं कुरुते लोकस्तदनुवर्तते। न मे पार्थास्ति कर्तव्यं त्रिषु लोकेषु किञ्चन नानवाप्तमवाप्तव्यं वर्त एव च कर्मणि। यदि ह्यहं न वर्तेयं जातु कर्मण्यतन्द्रितः मम वर्त्मानुवर्तन्ते मनुष्याः पार्थ सर्वशः। तस्माद् असक्तः सततं कार्यं कर्म समाचर असक्तो हि आचरन् कर्म परमाप्नोति पूरुषः. So in the last class we saw this. Hence, because of the reasons given earlier, tasmat asaktah san satatam karyam karma samachara. Hey Arjuna, tvam asaktah, with detachment, karyam karma samachara satatam. See, this word samachara is a very, very important word. Samachara, to the best of your abilities. Every person's ability is different, and hence there is no question of comparison. Do to the best of your ability. Karyam karma samachara, but the important word is satatam, at all times. Okay, not one day do very fantastic and after the rest of the days chalta hai. No. So samachara karyam karma at all times without losing that motivation. Do, but the motivation comes out of a desire. The desire comes out of a want of achieving something. But have that desire, but don't get attached to that desire. Asakta satatam karyam karma. Without attachment, be detached, but fully motivated. Satatam samachara karyam karma. Do to your best. And one who does asakta hai he acharan karma, one who does this with detachment, apnoti param apnoti sapurushaha he, indeed that person will reach the highest. And when you see reach the highest, very clearly it means will reach moksha. But there is a scope of misinterpreting this. Okay, and Krishna understands this. Why? If you do the work like this, directly you will achieve moksha. Is that true? Answer is no. Okay, by karma yoga, if you will achieve moksha, jnana yoga is not required at all. So it is highlighting, because we are in the topic of karma, it is highlighting the best benefits of karma yoga, and hence directly, even if it is mentioned, the vachyartha is mentioned paramapnoti, the lakshyartha is sadhana chatushtaya anantaram jnana yoga, jnana yogyata anantaram sadhana chatushtyanantaram guru shastra upadeshena shravana manana nididhyasana sannishta bhava mukto bhava. Correct? So the path is very clear, and this part Arjuna will not understand so easily. That is why the whole second chapter itself started with karma after jnana yoga. So it is a motivation or a carrot to Arjuna, saying that if you do karma yoga, that itself will give you moksha. And the meaning, hidden meaning in this is, if you do karma yoga, only then you will understand the need of jnanam. Because in karma yoga, you have to get vairagyam, vivekam, samadhi shatka sampatti, mumukshutvam. If these three will start, mumukshutvam automatically will start, because mumukshutvam is sitting inside, which is pushing this viveka vairagya coming out. Okay, so it is like saying you sit in the vehicle, you will, आप खाली बैठ जाओ गाड़ी में, चालू करो, in no time you will reach there. It is not in no time you will reach there. It means that half well begun is half done. So you started. So because the situation is, Krishna has to somehow convince Arjuna not to go to sannyasa. But at the same time, he cannot say sannyasa is not required. Okay, he has to tell sannyasa is, and because he is talking of the whole shastram and keeping Arjuna in the mind, he is going to explain to everyone the whole shastram. So sannyasa has to be there, jnana yoga has to be there. But the topic today is karma yoga, and the focus is karma yoga, and Arjuna is sitting in the situation where he wants to run away to take sannyasa, and hence karma yoga has been highlighted in a big way. And karma yoga directly can give moksha is what is the vachyartha. Although we all know and we have learned, the lakshyartha is you will get sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. In case you die with karma yoga and you get brahmaloka, then Brahmaji will give you jnanam, and still you have to go through it, and it will be faster. And because you already have a very good instrument, you can capture it very well, you will have nishtha very fast, and then moksha. So whichever path you go, without jnanam, moksha is impossible. Without karma yoga, jnanam is not possible. Okay, so karma yoga is incomplete without jnana yoga. Jnana yoga is impossible without karma yoga. So indirectly, Arjuna is being taught do karma yoga, and he is keeping it mum that jnana yoga will come, but moksha is the final step. Correct? Like we tell children, you study well, then you will earn a lot. Now, when you study well, you will earn a lot. Study and earning has got directly no connection. You have to study, then you have to graduate, you have to postgraduate. So many things are there in between. And then you have to get a good job, and then you will earn well. So all these are assumed, but the end result is shown at the first step itself. That means without losing the focus, you have to enter into karma yoga. Don't consider karma yoga to be the ultimate, but karma yoga, without entering into karma yoga, moksha is impossible. And that is why, very, very clearly, whoever is going to jnana yoga saying that no, no, I only need to know it, I need to understand it, it will be a big blunder without being actively working in this world with detachment. If you go to jnanam, that jnanam will never, never, never fructify. Not only never fructify, it will be detrimental to you and the society also. That is why various wrong theories come out. And we have to be very careful and to give that a very good push and to give that a very clear view. Krishna gives examples now. He has to convince Arjuna that this is not possible. And another one thing is, in some of these, there are certain hidden Shastra messages sitting in that. And they clearly depict. Shastra puts a rule, only Brahmana can take sannyasa. Please understand this. The sannyasa ashrama eligibility is there only for Brahmana. This is the Shastra. This is the rule book. Whether it is followed or not today is separate. Because even if no one follows it, the rule book does not do. Correct? So the rule book is very clear. Only Brahmana can go for all the four ashramas. Now, very clearly, are the four ashramas required for moksha? And this can be a wrong knowledge. All the four ashramas are not required for moksha. Then what do the ashrama do? They enable you to move ahead. They help you to move ahead. Okay. So even if sannyasa ashrama is not there, in grihastha ashrama itself you can do karma yoga, you can have jnana yogyata, you can get jnana yoga, and you can be mukta purushaha very much in grihastha ashrama. A jnani grihastha is 100% possible because moksha is the birthright of every human being. Only they need to have that intense desire for it and work for it. Okay. And that is why it is one of the purushartha, where if you put effort, you will get it if you do it in the right direction. Now, if we are going to say that the four ashramas are required, then what happens? We are giving a wrong idea that first, as per the rule book, only Brahmana can get moksha. A big problem. Another problem is, whoever has taken sannyasa, don't think that they are mukta purusha. Taking sannyasa ashrama is only preparing oneself so that without impediments, without other responsibility, they can dedicate completely their time and effort only for jnanam eva. Morning Upanishad, afternoon Upanishad, evening Upanishad, Bhashyam, that's all. Nothing else. So there is no question of earning, taking care of the house. घर पे नवरात्रि का कैसा करने का, अब इसके बाद दिवाली आएगा. All those things are not there. Then they are focusing. So that ashrama helps you to put your 100% into that. Whereas the other ashrama, because you have got the ashrama dharma, the ashrama duties, the swadharmas are there, you cannot leave it and say, no, I'm learning Vedanta, so I don't have to do karma. Big problem. Okay. Especially this needs to be told again and again to everyone who are not coming through the right way of going to Vedanta. Vedanta is Veda, Vedana Mantaha. We are directly getting into the end of Vedas without entering the start of the Vedas, which is incorrect. Which is incorrect because you are losing out on that preparatory requirements, and hence the it is to a certain extent diluted, to a certain extent accepted that at least to keep this on, to keep this alive, do other karma yoga, if not Vaidika Shrauta karmas and Smarta karmas, do karma yoga like Panchamahabhutas, Panchamahayajnas, and then ensure that you are doing it even during Jnana Yoga. And you can continue to be in this ashrama in your house and still effectively do it. Be the lotus in a pond. The name of lotus in Sanskrita is which is born out of filth. Pankaja. Panka means filth. One which is born in filth, but there is no filth on the lotus. Nalini dalagata jalamati taralam. Like that, we should be in the samsara, in the panka, as a pankaja, and continue to do the work. And this detachment, this is much more difficult than actually a sannyasi being in jnana yoga. In sannyasa ashrama, sannyasi, it can be much easier. So in every ashrama there is pros and cons. The pros in this ashrama of grihastha ashrama is, the good thing is, you can be with karma, you can also be with jnana, you can change the proportion, you can keep on increasing it, you can be at your own pace, your own path, and you can grow by yourself with help of a proper teacher and the shastras. You have a very good situation and an environment to practice karma yoga. At the same time, if you are more of a person who is introvert and jnana focused, this karma can become a little more impediment, and hence you can decide how much to reduce karma, keeping it at the minimum which is given to you as your basic duties which you have to do. Right. At the same time, from grihastha ashrama, you can go to sannyasa ashrama. In grihastha ashrama, you can be with all the other little comforts and other things which are basically, it will ensure that your life is not very tough. On the other hand, if you go to sannyasa ashrama, the environment may be tough. It will be seclusion. It will be very difficult because you have to be by yourself. Complete change of the situation, and in such a situation, the worst is you cannot even come back. Once having taken sannyasa, it is a no return. You can't come back to grihastha from sannyasa. You have to continue in sannyasa. But at the same time, you have no problem. ये महीने का तरकारी लाया क्या, घर पे झाड़ू मारा क्या, बाई आई क्या, all these questions never will come in sannyasa ashram. And there you have to do by yourself few things and just maintain yourself, do guru seva, do some ashrama, some duties, and most of the time will be focused on it. It is the other point that today many of these ashramas have become worse than big institution or grihasthas. It is worse than that. Keeping that aside, the focus of the ashrama always was this, right? And such shlokas are boon to really jnani sannyasis. Tasmad asaktas satatam karyam karma samachara. In how much ever bigger institution they are there with big ashramas, asaktas satatam karyam karma samachara, they can continue to do karma and still not be attached to it because their focus is on jnana and jnana nishta. So many sannyasis work in the world outside. They work very actively but detached. Okay, so there is pros and cons of it, and very clearly good for us. We are all from the other category, the grihastha category, and we will be very happy. Unlike if it is Adi Shankara, I will say no, these are all compromises you all are doing. It is not at all possible, he will say. But Krishna comes to our category, Arjuna comes to our category. They both are grihasthas. So he is a big advocate of grihastha ashrama. At the same time, in grihastha ashrama, jnanam is possible. Is it clear? So, tasmad asakta satatam karyam karma samachara asakto hi acharan karma param apnoti purushaha. Now, when such a statement is made, our Arjuna can say, for you what? You are nicely sitting there. You have nothing to do. You are very intelligent. You decided that you will not participate actively in the war, and your Sainya has gone to the other side. I will not pick up Shastra. You have to do nothing, and very nicely you are sitting and giving me Upadesha. Go and fight. Is it like doing Swadharma or Karma Yoga? If you have to take a bitter pill, at least it is okay. You will feel little bad, you will have it. Here you are telling Ghora Karma to be done. I have to kill. I have to kill my kith and kin. How is it possible? These things are not possible. For which now Krishna has to give clearly examples by which Arjuna will get convinced. Oh, there have been people who are like that, who have lived life like that, and still they have been able to get param apnoti purusha. Okay, and that's where it takes to the next shloka. Karmanaiva hi samsiddhim आस्तिता जनकादयः कर्मणैव हि संसिद्धिम् आस्तिता जनकादयः लोकसंग्रहमेवापि सम्पश्यन् कर्तुमर्हसि लोकसंग्रहमेवापि सम्पश्यन् कर्तुमर्हसि कर्मणा एव संसिद्धिम आस्तिताः जनक आदयः. Okay, again let me repeat. कर्मणा एव संसिद्धिम एव हि संसिद्धिम आस्थिताः आदयः लोकसंग्रहम् एव अपि संपश्यन् कर्तुम् अर्हसि. लोकसंग्रहम् एव अपि संपश्यन् कर्तुम् अर्हसि. And what is the Anvaya of this? Hi Janakadayaha. He, it is an emphasis. Indeed, Janakadayaha Karmana eva samsiddhim. Karmana eva samsiddhim asthitaha. He Janakadayaha Karmana eva samsiddhim asthitaha. Tvam in bracket. Api lokasangraham eva sampashyan kartumarhasi. Tvam api lokasangraham eva sampashyan kartum arhasi. What is he saying? Karmana evahi, only abiding by karma, by the nitya naimittika karma, swadharma, only abiding by the karma alone. He, that he very clearly emphasizes that only by that means what? Not by changing the ashrama, only by being the grihastha till the end of their life and by doing karmana, indeed, only by that, Janakadayaha asthitaha. Janakadayaha means Janaka and others in the past. Asthitaha, they have attained, they have achieved what? Samsiddhim. Siddhi, samsiddhi, moksham. Mokshaha, they have attained mokshaha. Who? Janaka and others, indeed by doing that karma alone, swadharma alone, they have attained moksha. Okay. Sampashyan, sampashyan. Look at them. Tvam sampashyan. You look at them. And api, you also. Lokasangraham. What is Lokasangraham? To the society, to the people, upliftment of the society, betterment of the society, good of the society. Kartum, arhasi. Okay, you should act. You should think of it and you should act. Okay, so now this is a very interactive way of saying, देखो उसने ऐसा ऐसा किया, तुमको नहीं लगता तुम्हें भी ऐसा कुछ करना है? Okay, normally when we tell children and all, how you look at that person, that child, that friend of yours, how he has achieved, some senior, how he has gone to this, and then he is studying very well. Don't you feel you want to achieve that? Don't you feel you have to do it? So like a elder brother or like a mother or like a father, very nicely Krishna is now trying to tell Arjuna, hey Arjuna, sampashyan, look at them. Okay, and this is very clearly coming that if you are going to tell about something very vague, a theoretical one, the person will not accept. We have to understand this. Whenever we are saying and giving an example, that example should have been valued by the other person very clear. Otherwise, that example is of no meaning. Correct? Suppose if I, for example, tell you, so and so person did like this. Only when you know either the person and you value the person, or if you value the value, then you don't bother about the person. Whoever that value it, who has that value, you will automatically respect that person. Either you should know. For example, if I tell you, if you have a role model called Hrithik Roshan, Hrithik Roshan did like this, okay, let me also do like this. You know, this Gandhi topi, your Nehru topi, Modi's jacket, all this is what? Person dependent something you are doing. Suppose you don't know the person, but you have a high value for a particular value, you respect a particular value, you have very high value for it. And when you say this person is with that value, automatically you respect that person. So either from the person the value can be inculcated, or from the value a person can be introduced. If these two are not there, then it is like talking of a dinosaur story. It will only have fantasy value. It will have no meaning. Huh? So whenever we tell someone something to bring in a particular, you either have to bring it through the person or through the value and connect it. Now here, Krishna is trying to bring the value into Arjuna. So he can't talk about the value high. So he has to talk about people whom Arjuna is going to accept. And through that person, the value is bought in. Okay. You have to understand which is the gift and which is the wrapper. Based on the person's knowledge and acceptance, either the value can be the gift and the person adorning can be the wrapper, or the wrapper can be the value and the person adorning can be the gift itself. Here, the gift which Krishna wants to put into Arjuna is the value. So he is taking the wrapper as Janaka, because Janaka is known. Janaka is known from, obviously, Janaka is during Ramayana time. They are in Mahabharata. Ramayana has happened before Mahabharata. Now, if you have any doubt on this, again, someone can genuinely ask, how do you know that? Did Ramayana happen first or Mahabharata happen first? Then someone will say in Dasha Avatara, first Rama Avatara came, then Krishna Avatara came. But who made this Dasha Avatara? You all only made it, correct? So you all would have made it for your own convenience, if someone says. And there is one shloka which can clearly give this. There is one shloka. Of course, there are many, but one shloka clearly talks of this very, very specific. Vyasam vasishtha naptaram shakte pautramakalmasham parasharatmajam vande shukatatam taponidhim. Who is Vyasa? Vasishtha Naptaram. Vasishtha's great grandson is Vyasa. Shaktehe Pautram. Shakti's grandson. Parashara Atmajam. Parasharasya Putraha. Who is he? Vyasaha. Parasharaha. Krishna Dvaipayanaha. Another name for him. Krishna Dvaipayana. Okay. So, Parasharasya Putraha Parasharaha Vyasaha Krishnadvaipayanaha Vasishtasya Naptaram Shaktehe Pautram. And then, who is his son? Shuka. Shukasya Tatam. Shuka's father. His son is Shuka. So now 5 generations have been told together. We know chronologically Vasishta, Shakti, Parashara or Vyasa, and Shuka Brahma Rishi. Now, we know Vasishta was there during Ramayana. He was the Kula Guru to the Surya Vamsha. And Vyasa was very clearly there during Mahabharata. Because of him only, these 3 children have been born. Pandu, Dhritarashtra and Vidura. He is the person who has written the whole Mahabharata. So very clearly that generations are clearly understood in this, and hence Mahabharata has happened before Ramayana. And when you give Ramayana already was an epic, you can't say that time Mahabharata was a Smriti. Only Smriti available that time was Ramayana. And for a Kshatriya, another king becomes a role model. And in that story, in that Charitram where they were living, Janaka was a very, very clearly a role model like this. Are you able to get this now? Janakadayaha. Now he gave the word Adayaha. Adaya means only not Janaka. There were many like this. And to give some names, Ashwapati was there. Okay, who is Ashwapati? Anyone knows Ashwapati? Kaikeyi's father is Ashwapati. Okay, he was a very, very jnani. Kaikeyi's father is a jnani. Kaikeyi was very intelligent. That is why we learnt in Sri Ramodantam, Mantara Dushita Shayaha. It was not Kaikeyi's mind. Mantara poisoned her mind. Dushita Shayaha. Kaikeyi was very intelligent. And Kaikeyi knew what is right and wrong. Because father, see, this is what is going to come in the next shloka. I'm going to dwell on it in a more detail. Right? So Kaikeyi clearly knew that Kaikeyi was poisoned by Manthara and Kaikeyi's father is Ashwapati. So take examples of Ashwapati, take example of Janaka. All these people, they have been in that Grihastha ashrama and they are jnanis. That is why this Arjuna was trying to find out all loopholes. Huh? Don't consider Arjuna to be both doodh se dhula hua. Please. He is a very intelligent person. He was finding loopholes. That is why he asked Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava sthitadi kim prabhasheta kimasita vrajeta kim. Can you understand by the outfit who is a jnani? So that I can wear such an outfit and fool everyone. Can also be his internal mind thought. So this answers that, saying that no outfit will work. When Janaka and Ashwapati are working in that court and in managing this whole kingdom, they will take decisions which feels very, very bad. It may be against a person, it may be against few people, but they will just not bother about it. They are pakka in karma yoga. They have to do, they will do it because they are detachedly taking decision and they are jnanis. Correct? So if Arjuna is going to tell, hey Krishna, what for you? You are a charioteer, you are not going to fight anything, and I am going to do this Gora Karma. He says, what are you talking about, Ashwapati? What are you talking about, Janaka? They have also had a life like this. They also did Karma Yoga. They have also acted. And through that role model, he says, so it is very clear, it has been established, you cannot take sannyasa. Okay. Now, this particular one is very, very nicely given also in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. This Ajata Shatru. Okay. There is a Ajata Shatru and who's those two people are there? It comes together. Brihadaranyaka, learned Brahmin. Okay. A learned Brahmin, Yetavannu. So he goes to Ajata Shatru. Ajata Shatru is a king. And this Brahmin tells this king, saying that I know what is Brahman. So Ajata Shatru is a jnani. He is a king, but he is a very, very knowledgeable jnani king. And what is the name? Ajata Shatru. One who can handle, one who does not have any enemy right from birth. Ajata Shatru. There is no enemy born for him. Which means what? On the other hand, he has conquered everyone. Whichever way. There is no one standing against him. Now, to such a person, a Brahmana goes and talks and says, I know what is Brahman, and he explains. And Ajata Shatru says, is this what you know about Brahman? Then I think there is a mistake. So this Brahmana says, okay, I'm ready to submit to you. You be my teacher. You teach me what Brahman is. And this is where Ajata Shatru says, the whole the Vyavastha has become topsy-turvy. A Brahmana should teach Kshatriya. Today the situation has come that a Kshatriya has to teach a Brahmana. Okay, at that time itself, see, Pratilomam Chaitat Yad Brahmana Ata Kshatriyena Mat Brahma Eva Vakshyati. So he says, okay, for that absolute knowledge to be restored, even if we have to, what do you say, bypass some of these rules, I will do it. And that is why, in that particular Ajata Shatru, that portion, when it comes, the teacher is supposed to sit at a higher pedestal than the student. This is a norm. Okay. It is, the whole thing is very, very logical. Temperature goes from higher to lower. Water flows from higher level to lower. Correct? If you want the water to flow from our underground to the top, you need a pump. From the top tank, the terrace to the underground, you just have to open a wall, it will just come by gravity. So the natural way is higher to lower. And for that to facilitate, the teacher needs to sit at a higher position and the student has to sit one step below. It is a necessity. Then only it will follow the law of nature and things will move. Okay. This itself, there are many interpretations also to this. Some people say the teacher looks down, the student looks up. All this is meaningless. If the knowledge has to come, it has to come from the top to down. Simple. Okay. That is why many people in front of the teachers, okay, today with the health related issue, people sit on chairs and other things. But otherwise, always the teacher will sit at a higher pedestal and the student will sit down. Now, for such a thing, Ajata Shatru had to sit on an upper pedestal and the student has to sit down. First of all, he is not supposed to teach. See, if he is a jnani, he will follow the dharma to the maximum. Please understand this. A jnani will never break any of the dharmas. He will 100% follow it. Now, first of all, a kshatriya cannot teach Brahmana. One law broken. Correct? He should ideally tell you, please learn it from some other Brahmana, I will not teach you. But this person has learnt and come. And he has wrongly understood it. So correcting becomes a responsibility. He says, doesn't mind. I can still sit as a person who has learnt it from the Guru Shishya Parampara and I will teach you. I will clarify this. But now another problem comes. If the teacher is supposed to teach, you have to sit at a higher pedestal and the student should sit at a lower pedestal. Now this breaks the second, that a Kshatriya is sitting above the Brahmana's level. Ideally both can be equal or Brahmana has to sit above the Kshatriya's level. These are all dharma, very clear dharma. Why? From knowledge is supposed to be higher. Abhi ulta Ganga beh rahi hai. What can you do? Things have gone topsy-turvy. But you have to do something to make it, align it back, right? When things are wrong, you can't be doing the right things exactly that way to turn it. You will have to turn something, you have to do something wrong to correct it. Correct? One negative plus another negative only can make it positive. Again, that is a law. Then the third thing comes is, because a Brahmana cannot learn from a Kshatriya directly, and before doing it, he has to do Namaskara. You have to accept as Guru. See how many, he wants to do one thing, but how many issues are coming? No, all are in Grihastha Ashrama. They are not sannyasas. So, because you are knowledgeable, you will not want to break any of these rules. It all comes to the consciousness. So they came out with a compromising formula that both will sit at the same level. And don't look at me and do namaskara, you do namaskara to Bhagavan. Please understand this. This is exactly the problem. For example, if you see, typically, I don't know how many people are exposed to all these things, but these are practical issues which come in mathas. The new Mathadipati is already in place. The elder person is there, or sometimes the elder person passes away and a very young person is now a Mathadipati. Now, he is in a position which is the highest, but it becomes responsibility of the others to teach him. So the other Brahmanas, Acharyas will have to teach him because he has not learned it, but he is in a position. Now, he as a student should do namaskara to the teacher, but as a pontiff, even if he is younger, and even if the teachers are very knowledgeable, they will do namaskara to him. See this practical issue? Especially when you go to the Shankara Mathas and all this, the new acharyas who are inducted, they have to go through that learning. They have been taught. For that, the earlier acharya will not teach. There are experts in each of the shastras who will teach them those shastras. So they have to be a student. So what they do, see, that is why I am saying, without, you have to find out how to get a compromising formula that you don't break the dharma. You can't say that, many of us, what we say, my intention was correct, na? Don't bother how I did it. No, not acceptable. If intention is correct, you find out a right way which will be acceptable also. Both are equally important. Why? You are setting a rule for others. So you cannot compromise on dharma because you are supposed to do something which is not as per the, ideally, this is a very practical way how to teach. So what they do is, he along with other shishyas sit together. So there are other students also. Or if it is, they even change it little. The teacher is teaching other students. He will sit in one side. Not as a student, but as a listener, Shrota, and learn it. You understand? If he has to do namaskara, he will do namaskara to Bhagavan. The teacher will do namaskara to him. While learning, he will sit separately there. Here, teacher is teaching everyone, in that he will also learn. Or even one-on-one, if it is being taught, it will not be face-to-face. They have to follow these protocols, sir. They have to follow these protocols very clearly. Why? He is the pontiff. He is the adhipati of that place. It is the place and the position which is respected, not the person. Okay. So some of this practical way, that is why all these issues will come in irrespective of ashrama. In sannyasa ashrama, there is an issue now. Have you to now think about grihastha ashrama? Hundreds and hundreds of issues will come. But still you have to find a solution which is not compromising the values, not compromising the dharma, but still you will get a solution to overcome the problem. So intention alone being good may not be enough. How to do it practically is a very, very important aspect. Why? You become a role model and hundreds of people. That is why even in every court they refer to case number so and so, this one versus this one. Why do they say that? Because that is precedented already, and that's already there. Like that, you will precedent few things where the next generations are going to look upon it. Are we understanding? That sensitive and that depth of dharma is there in everything what we do. Is it clear? Okay. So when an example of Janaka is given like this, And I also mentioned about Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, the Ajata Shatru case. Like that, he taught. So they found out a way, and like that, Janaka, that is why in Janaka's court, Yajnavalkya and Janaka, a very big sambhashanas happen. Okay, in Brihadaranyaka, it will come completely Maitreyi Brahmanam, Kahola Brahmana, all this comes in that. I'm sure if you remember, we have seen some of these things in WhatsApp videos have been forwarded. It has come in Upanishad Ganga also. We have seen that sambhashana between Gargi and Yajnavalkya. Okay, like that, many such debates have happened in Janaka's court. Okay, Janaka himself, he and Ashtavakra. Ashtavakra Gita is between Janaka and Ashtavakra. Okay, and to test Janaka, Ashtavakra creates a situation. What Ashtavakra does is he somehow created a situation that a fire was there in the palace where the king was sitting with Ashtavakra and Ashtavakra was teaching him the Upanishad and the Mananam of that. He wanted to test the student. So he created fire around. And the king had a very clear order to everyone. When I am learning, when I am privately with my teacher, only if there is a dire emergency you can come in. Otherwise, don't come in. So an emergency situation was created by Ashtavakra. And when those warriors and ministers and everyone, the security guards, they came in running. Oh king, Mithila is on fire. Mithila is on fire. Come and save it. He just said, Mithila is on fire. What for me? I'm not Mithila. Okay. And this is what Ashtavakra wanted to hear. Is he attached or detached? See, if there is a fire, the people who have to douse the fire will do that job. The king is not going to take water and pour, correct? The Ajnani soldiers thought emotional about it and came to the king. The king is a Jnani. He said, okay, you do your job. Even if the whole Mithila burns, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, he actually proved it at that time. Vacharambanam Vikaro Namadeyaha Aham Brahmasmi is what he is actually telling at that time. And this is what what is what is the teacher's name? Ashtavakra wanted to hear. Correct? Ashtavakra wanted to hear that. And that is how the testing happens. And the student is passed. Nothing was burned. It was just an illusion created by him. By his Yoga Shakti and Siddhi, he just created that everything is burned. Nothing had burnt actually. So, like that, the real test happens. And if you are a Karma Yogi, you have to go into that fire. And you have to come out. With every fire you go, then only that conviction comes out that you are able to manage and come. Right? Okay. So, Astita Janaka Dayaha. And if you see people like Janaka, why shouldn't you do that? Okay. Now, two ways of looking at this shloka. Lokasangrahamevapi sampashyan kartumarhasi. What is the first line to this? The first line to this is Karmaneva hi samsiddhim astita janakadaya. Only by Karma Yoga, Janaka and others have attained moksha. You can connect it to the second line and say Sampashyan. Looking at that, cannot you work for upliftment of the society? Okay, indirectly saying that do your karma yoga, you will also get moksha. One way of looking at it. It may not fit the best of, because with the first line, the topic of karma yoga actually gets over. The second line is connecting back to the 18th shloka. This is how the bhashyas actually go. The second line connects to the 18th shloka. What is the second line saying? Lokasangrahamevapi sampashyan kartumarhasi. What is the 17th and 18th shloka? Yastvat maratireva syat atmatriptascha manavaha atmanyeva cha santushtaha tasya karyam na vidyate. Okay. Naiva tasya krite nartaha na krite neha kaschana na chasya sarva bhuteshu kaschidharthavyapashrayah. So in the 17th and 18th, having told that a jnani need not work. Please put that word need in inverted commas. It is not should not work. It is need not work. They have a choice not to work. But if they wish to work, they can surely work. So to give that second option from the 18th shloka, the second line of this connects, because here he says, they need not work. Nachasya sarva bhuteshu kaschid arthavyapashrayah parantu lokasangrahamevapi sampashyan kartumarhasi. They still work for lokasangraham eva. Look at that, which means for an ajnani, akarmanaha not allowed. Even for a jnani, if akarmanaha is allowed, jnanis, many of them, they continue to work lokasangraham, for lokasangraham. There are people who decide not to work. I have the jnanam, I will be into one gufa, do tapasya, from there only I will give up this body. Okay, and there are different names also for them. Okay, Ajagara sannyasi. You know what is Ajagara sannyasi? Ajagara sannyasa means this. The word Ajagara comes from Aja means goat. Gara comes from the word gira, it falls. So that means like a snake keeps the mouth open and the goat comes and gets stuck into it. Automatically the snake closes the mouth and it becomes a food. That is how this Ajagara has come to this word python. Okay, like that, there are people who are in sannyasa who will not eat anything, who will not expect anything, who will not do anything. If someone comes and gives there and goes, they will eat it. If no one gives anything, they will not eat anything. One day they will just die off like that only. So that is also possible, and that is allowed for them. But in the same time, like Adi Shankara, like many other acharyas who have worked, Vyasacharya, take many. For example, Shuka Brahma, many people say Shuka Brahma is a bigger than Vyasacharya himself. He is more. Why? Shuka will not do any action, only sit and meditate. Vyasacharya, on the other hand, will be highly active outside but detached from everything. There is a story also for that. All the stories are told by Swami Chinmayananda beautifully in the 3rd chapter only. Once there was this Shuka Brahma Rishi had to be taught a lesson. The Shukacharya used to come to Vyasa and say, you old person, you have got no other job. कभी भी देखो लिखते रहता है, लिखते रहता है, लिखते रहता है. चुपचाप बैठो, मेडिटेट करो, बैठो चुपचाप. Meditate karo. This is how our Chinmayananda Swami will say. कभी देखो लिखते रहता है, writing 18 Puranas you have written so many things, you have done so many, still you want to write. Aren't you tired of it? How much karma? So now Vyasacharya, even at that time, that saying is very true, घर का मुर्गी दाल बराबर. मैं कितना भी बोलूं तो इसको समझ में नहीं आएगा, right? Although the tradition was only the father used to teach the son. That was the tradition. The Guru Shishya Parampara was father son Parampara, it used to be there. Fair enough. But now he is no more a student. He is learned, he is grown up, he has understood things, he is a Jnani, he is Shuka Brahma Rishi. So now you can't look him. But then at the same time, he needs to be taught the practical aspect of it, which is this, that asakto hyacharan karma. So to teach him that, he said, who else will be the best person other than Janaka Maharaja? Because Janaka Maharaja was coming in that Parampara Vasishta, and he is a very learned person. He is learned from those Parampara teachers. Janaka Maharaja ka वहाँ भेजेंगे. Okay. Now, these are examples in Purana. Don't come and ask me during Shuka's time, Vyasacharya, how did he send to Janaka Maharaja who was there in Vasishta's time? That is why these people and all with big daddies used to live for thousands of years. Don't bother about it. Go with the story now. The story is the Shuka Brahma. He is a person who is a young boy, and he will not even wear clothes. सब जगह ऐसे ही घूमेगा. जिधर भी देखो, he will eat, बैठेगा, ध्यान करेगा. Then wander somewhere, बैठेगा, ध्यान करेगा. That's all, nothing else. No activity with no connection with the world at all. And he is not bothered where he is. So, Vyasacharya gave a letter to Janaka. I am sending my son, take care of him. Objective clearly mentioned. Okay. So, this boy was also told, you do one thing, you go to Mithila, you meet the king there. Okay, father has told, so he started walking towards Mithila. Janaka has already given instruction from inside. You will see this one dirty, not very uncouth, shabby boy who would not have worn anything also. He'll be coming. He will ask for me. Don't allow him inside. So this boy comes there at the main gate of the city. Okay, jungle से city में आने के लिए there is a gate. It is not someone can walk and come from any road. नहीं ऐसा सब नहीं है. There are entrances where passes are there. All those things happen there. So there is a Dwarapala there, 2 people, and hatta katta mushtanda log khade rehte hain. So when this boy comes, they know आ गया, बकरा आ गया. अभी इसको जो बोला है, we have to take care. Now they do not know who has come. So they do not treat, they little ill treat, but still they manage. So when this boy comes, महाराज को मिलना है. महाराज बैठो इधर. खुद को देखा क्या? कपड़ा नहीं, कुछ नहीं, गंदा इतना, बदबू आ रही है. Very bad. Go. Don't even enter. And as Shuka Brahma Rishi, he is a Brahma Rishi. All these things say nothing. He doesn't have any impact on any of these things. So he sat there only outside. क्या ध्यान में बैठा है. Every 1 hour, Raja is asking in walkie-talkie, क्या कर रहा है? कुछ नहीं, चुपचाप बैठा है, आँख बंद है. धूप लग रहा है, सब है, चुपचाप बैठा है. Nothing is not even opening his eyes. ठीक है, 1-2 दिन बैठने दो ऐसे. After 1 or 2 days, when the situation doesn't change, then the Raja says, okay, do one thing. You bring him inside with all honors. Bring him inside, take him to my bathroom, and with all these beautiful ladies, ask them to give a bath. with the scent and all rose petals and everything, give a very nice bath. So these people followed. Shuka Brahma Rishi was taken in, and then he was just seeing everything, but no impact, nothing. All because he's now entered a palace. Palace is something different. He, as a hermit, would have never seen these things, because immediately it's eye catching. No difference. लेके गए उसको, पूरा सेंटेड ऑयल वो ये करके बात चालू था. इमीडिएटली वॉकी टॉकी में, व्हाट इज द सिचुएशन, क्या है, बेबी है, कुछ फर्क नहीं गिरते है उसको, कुछ भी करो, ही इज जस्ट लाइक अ डॉल सिटिंग देयर. ठीक है, उसके बाद उसको बाहर लेके आओ. 56 भोग खाना, तो वन आफ्टर द अदर थिंग्स इट इज कमिंग. इतना बड़ा थाली रखा है सामने, ओनली अलोन ही हैज टू ईट. एक का पीछे एक पकवान देते जा रहे, एंड ये डाला वो डाला. बोले क्या कर रहे क्या कर रहे? Like a buffalo, he just mixed up everything and from one corner he ate. The fellow didn't even wash his hand. उधर ही बैठ के ध्यान करने को शुरू किया. when his पेट भर गया तो this person has no sensation at all. Jitendriya, please understand what is Jitendriya. Nothing impacts it. Rishikesha, nothing impacts it. He is doing it only to maintain this body and live. After that, the whole mind is into dhyana. Then the king bought him with, he was bought into the royal court with all the आभूषण and everything was, खाना वाना सब खिलाया एकदम. उसका फेयर एंड लवली डाल के कलर ही बदल दिया उसका. ओके, एंड वेरी वेल ड्रेस्ड, वेरी वेल, एकदम उसको युवराज जैसा बना के अंदर लेके आ गए. राजा का बाजू में बिठाया उसको. राजा said, okay, today we have a special guest, and this evening we have got one special Bharatanatyam dance. So the best dancer was called, the best musicians were called, and he told this boy, evening there is a special program for you to entertain you, so come by 6 o'clock. And all the courtiers, everyone had to be in that special attire, dress code, everything, like real, that fineness, the richness has to be seen, and the program would be the best. So everything is planned. So 5 minutes before 6, this boy has come there. Raja is already sitting. Then the Raja does, already information has gone what to do. ताली बजाएगा तो ये लाओ. So immediately one of the sevak brings one cup. He shows the hand like this, and this cup was placed into Shuka Brahma Rishi's hand. Immediately behind, another person comes and starts pouring oil into the cup. They pour so much that it has become already concave, and one drop more it will fall down. Uttana brim tak bhar diya hai. Now the Raja tells Shuka Brahma Rishi, you focus on this, that not even a drop of oil should fall down. I said okay. Immediately after that, चालू करो. तो राजा started the भरतनाट्यम डांस चालू कर दिया. पूरा डांस 1-2 घंटा इतना चला. Everyone, the crowd was all applauding and everything. It was fantastic. Such a dance was not seen. Everything happened. पूरा खत्म हो गया. 2 घंटा 2.5 घंटा खत्म हुआ. And after that, the dancers have moved. Immediately the king, so the सेवक आ गए. बोले चेक करो कुछ गिरा है क्या. नॉट इवन अ ड्रॉप. बोला वो निकालो. और निकालने के बाद भी हाथ ऐसा ही है. इट इज फ्रोजन लाइक दिस. एक ड्रॉप है, नथिंग. इसको बोला हाथ नीचे रखो. किधर हाथ नीचे जाएगा. 2 घंटा से ऐसा ही बैठा है तो हाथ फर्म हो गया वैसा. He said, how was the dance? This boy asked, dance? What dance? Konsa dance? Arey, there was Bharatnatyam here. You didn't see it? No. That music? No, I didn't hear. Then what were you doing? You told me to focus that not even one drop of oil should fall. I was focusing on that. What did you do for that? I did not do anything. He said, Buddhu, having kept the focus firm, you could have still seen the dance. Not even a drop would have fallen, right? Once firmly held, and if your mind is firm, this will not move at all. Let the dance go on, you can keep seeing it. You know, our that old digressing out, our road shows used to be there. Abhi wo road shows सब बंद हो गया. There used to be one family who will come. Bamboos का दो जगह पे वो ये बांधेगे, बीच में एक रस्सी करेगा, and then that small girl will go on the top of the रस्सी with one हाथ में एक डंडा रख के, she will just walk from one end to the other. Focusing completely, submitting, surrendering, continue what you want to do. There is no problem at all. तुम्हारा कौन सा, which is that Madhubala dance with 7-story building on the head? She will dance ना. 5-6 घड़ा रख के आधा है चंद्रमा. How does that work? It's focusing. Do whatever you want. And that's how Janaka Maharaja could teach Shuka Brahma Rishi that what your father is doing is surrendering and submitting. Ishwara Pranidhanena, with one focus, he is doing all the work outside, and that won't impact. That is the substance of such a story. So Puranas, Itihasa, they all bring in such stories which clearly gives us that there are other ways to manage things rather than the standard way which we look at things. Okay, and here exactly, if you are going to tell that don't do any work, it is not required for jnanis, and already in the second chapter, Sthita Prajnasya ka bhasha, he says a jnani will also sit, eat, sleep, he will have pain, he will have everything like any other person, so you can't distinguish between jnani. Then how will you know who is a jnani? Have you got jnanam meter to keep and find out this person is jnani? No. So it is for oneself to know how much jnanam he has and evaluate. If such a situation comes and our dear Arjuna says, now I use this particular situation to say, I am a jnani and hence I will not work. समझ में है? In case Arjuna uses such a situation of the 17th and 18th shloka and says, you have already told Sthita Prajna in the second chapter that there is no difference. I am a jnani and jnani need not work, so I have chosen not to work. To counteract that, the second line of the 20th shloka has been given, Loka sangrahamevapi sampashyan gartumarkasa. इसका जस्टिफिकेशन के लिए देखो कैसा गोल घूमना पड़ रहा है. He says, even if you do not have to work, but many people resort to working for loka sangraham. Why? You are indebted to the society. Because of the society only you have got all guru and the facility and this jnanam has come. You are indebted to give it back this knowledge to the society so that many more benefit out of it. If not the jnanam, at least things which are going to support it like dharma and other things, you have to give it back to the society, which is called loka sangraha. So my dear Arjuna, if you say you are a jnani, then let me remind you, with people's taxes, you have studied under the tutelage of Dronacharya. With people paying money only, your kingdom is there. With people's money only, all these things have happened. So many people have done so many things for you to stand today with 7 Akshaonis and stand to fight. And they are all come to give up their life for a great cause, which is Dharma Yuddha. And you say that I am a jnani, I will run away. I don't have to do any work. No option. Lokasangrahamevapi sampashyan tvam kartum arhasi. Madhyama purusha ekavachana tvam arhasi. You may know that. Is it clear? How beautifully now Krishna is taking it. See, the connections are very, very clear. You can look at it one way, which I mentioned, but the second way seems to be very, very apt. Okay, I give you an example of people who have worked. But in case you say that, okay, there are two types of people who are jnani, one who work like Janakadayaha and others who do not work, and I chose to take the second route because I am a jnani, then even for a jnani, loka sangraham evapi sampashyan gartumarkasi. That means there is no choice. Even if you consider you are a jnani, you please work. If you are an ajnani, you have to work. If you are a jnani who is working, I don't have to tell you this. But I have told you, jnani need not work, and if you choose that option to fool yourself and fool others, then I am giving you another statement which is loka sangraham evati. Is it clear? Is this point clear? Okay. Then he says, he goes to a very, very important aspect. Why did he say that? Loka sangraham evapi sampashyan kartum arhasi. When he says that, he is ceding a very important aspect to Arjuna. What are the sources of knowledge which one gets? See, this is a topic which we have to first understand before going to this 21st shloka. Before entering into 21st shloka, which is a very important shloka, I practically feel, and I think many a times I have given this references. It's a very important shloka because thousands of eyes are on you at all times. Okay, now how do we get knowledge? Let us first try to understand this. What are the sources of knowledge? See, when a person is born, there has to be something, and this is very, very, very true to today's world. This is something which we have to be very much sensitive about. When you, what is this dharmic way of living? The right way of living, the righteous way of living, the correct way of living. How do you know this? And this is a very big question which it baffles many people. Should I go by logic? Should I go by what someone has said? Should I go by what? But all those shastras are so old, they are outdated. They are outdated. They don't fit to today's situation. Correct? And this is where this question comes itself. Probably it was not valid that much when Krishna told Arjuna, when people were quite focused and they had that value of dharmic way of life. In the past, at least 50 years, or say 40 years or 30 years, we have been seeing that this is dropping exponentially. This dharmic way of living. Dharmic way of living is very, very simple meaning to it. What I cannot do to myself, I do not do to others. That's all. Without asking such a question, living rather dvesha life and logically justifying it doesn't make it dharmic way of life. See, at least 40 years back, 50 years back, or 100 years back, there used to be a different society itself. A society which used to be in villages, which used to be in whatever cities or what you call as semi-cities. Even big, big cities used to be there, kingdoms used to be there. There was a vyavastha there. This varnashrama vyavastha was there. The learning used to happen only in the school, but prior to that, a lot of learning used to happen at home. Okay, today's society it is far different. In that society, at least till many years or at least few decades before, mostly ladies used to not go to work. The gents used to go to work. Society was that way. Please, we cannot say this is not a question of whether this is right or wrong. We cannot close our eyes that that society was not there. Up to that time, that society was like that, where only one person used to go out of the house and manage everything outside the house. The other person used to be within the house, manage everything within the house, and hence both used to be taken care. So there were clear portfolios who used to do what. And when a child is born, right before birth, up to that young age of whatever 10, 12 years, this value systems and the dharmic way of life used to be imbibed or encrypted into that child. Not imbibed. It used to be encrypted and put in. Okay. In today's society, everyone are working. Many a times, small children from whatever age, they are put in daycare. Okay. This society itself has a different outlook because the value system has changed from okay, we have certain values, but at the same time we value income to be more than other things because that's a reality of life that without that much income it is difficult. Now that income, who decides that I need so much or we need so much, is an individual or a collective decision by the couple, by the family, right? That means for getting something, I have to forego something. Please understand this. How much our best we try. Today's family is a nuclear family, it was joint family earlier. Hence, you need a support system. Now, when the child is going to be most of the time into a school or into a daycare or into maybe classes or into something, they are not in a vicinity of you, your culture, your values. They imbibe the culture and values which they are exposed to wherever they are there. And they learn, isn't it right? This is a very natural way of growing, upbringing, learning, imbibing the values, and whatever goes in that childhood up to 12, 15 years is what remains till death. You may take a little path of convenience, but once you grow to a particular age, you will slowly resort back to that. The graph is very clear. It will keep going up, then you will waver, no growth will be there in that, and later on you will come back to the same path again. Okay, check it out. Go from very smallest thing, and this how do you know whether this is correct and this is the truth? Go to any person. That person will have, if you just look at a very what do you call objectively, if you look at that person's life, if it is available in front of you right from childhood growth, and then because normally if you just consider our grandparents, by speaking to them you have some idea about their life when they were a child, how it was, some ideas will be there. And when you look at it, whatever used to be the value system when they were very small are the values which they are promoting it when they are old. In between they have also wavered and gone out. Same thing is true with us also, or our parents also. They start with a particular value system, then they diverge out, they compromise on very many things. Then Slowly, as age starts, they will come back to the same value which they have learned, not the new one. On that value, they will accommodate all new things like using a WhatsApp. Yes, they will do it, but not compromising that value. Correct? Same thing it comes to taste. बचपन में जो टेस्ट पसंद था, what type of food you used to like and which used to suit you, you more or less come at the end more towards that. Go with memories. What you, especially very old people who have got dementia and who have lost their memory, they will never forget their childhood and they will be talking about it, and which we may not know, but that is their experience because that is deep rooted inside. So, what is the point is whatever you eat, whatever you are exposed to, your value, your culture, everything till the age of 12, 15 is so important because that is molding the whole thing. And from there, how much ever you branch out, later on, you. I have seen in my life there are so many people who are absolutely opposing to everything slowly coming into it. Everyone has their own path when they will come. That is why when many of these parents come and say, when these children were young, they were at least telling the shloka, now they don't want to come to the class. I said, leave it. We have already sown the seed. It will flower only when they start growing up and maturing. That time they will come, and when their children, their grandchildren will be there, that time it will mature. Our job is over. Don't try to stop it. कितना भी बार गए तो वापस वो शाम को वो गाय को कितना भी चरने को छोड़ो, रात हुआ तो वापस उधर ही आएगी. Same way as the age grows, it will come back. And this is natural. It has nothing to do with Indian or American. Even if you go through their life, whatever was the value system they were following in their childhood as age old person, they may not be expressing it out, but if someone speaks to them, they will again talk about this because that is the human life is that way. The mind is that way. Is it clear? Okay. Why am I saying this? That initial phase of 12, 15 years is the utmost important what you can give to mold the next generation. Okay. One person was telling me that today there are no girls available or ready to marry. Boys, especially if these boys say that we are following our traditional way and doing the dharmic activities along with going to office and all, no, we are modern outlook, we don't want to get married. And there are sizable population very clearly the girls saying no, we don't want to get married. As individually as a small aspect, it won't be big, but later on, as many few decades go, this will only become a big problem because that institution called marriage at the right time, if it is done, then it works positively. Grihasthashrama has to be there. It is, we are seeing how the Western world, who have already taken a different value system, how it is. And people who are sitting here, I'm certain if you are not of that view, that is good, that is why you're sitting here. Otherwise, you will not be sitting here. Because you value this, that is why you're sitting here. So you can't be valuing two opposites. If you value day, you have to devalue night. At least in values, huh? Don't go by day and night. If you say Satyam is good, then Asatyam is bad, is what you'll have to go with. And if you are valuing and sitting here, that means you know very clearly that there is another world, and there is a majority of that world. If we have 7 billion people, we may be few hundreds sitting like this from all the sect if you take. But there are millions of people who are billions of people who are totally in a different world of a different value system. Are we able to get this? And this that big picture starts from that small brick. For that big picture to come, for that big temple to come, every brick is important. And that brick is what is the next shloka. Please understand that brick is the next shloka. If the brick is right, the structure will be right. If the brick is wrong, how much fantastic the structure is, it will break. When it will break, no one knows. But the fact is, it will break one day. It is not a sustainable one. Correct? How many such, see, and it is a testing of time that we being for so many years are still there, and how many such, what do you call, religions have come and gone. How many religions have come and gone? Why? They have not been able to be sustainable. They may have values, they may have everything, but they are not sustainable. And for us to be sustainable, we have to do it. Every person, you can't leave even an individual. At all times, we'll have to have this in the mind. What? I am a meaningful person in this society, in this house, and whatever I do, so many are looking at me. I cannot behave irresponsible even for a moment. Right? We are bound by that. It's a moral binding which we put on ourselves. No law can put this on you. No elders can put this on you. They can only give examples to show, but this moral binding of we are the torch bearers ahead, and we are the people who are going to get the next generation and their quality. It is our responsibility, has to be taken at all times. Correct? How does this newborn child get information, or any for that matter? How does a person get this information? The first source of information is, let us go to Shruti. Shruti is a source of information. Correct? Then you have Smritis, which are source of information. Correct? Shruti is very clear but very tough. Do, don't do. Now, if you say, I write the Shruti, my intellect is limited. So my Shruti writing will be limited. That is why, what can you accept as Shruti? Which is Apaurushaya, which is not written by anyone, but it is a collective wisdom of knowledge which has been understood, which has been got from the nature and given to us in the language which we know, receiving and transmitting. And that collection is Shruti. And it clearly talks of Karma Kanda, what we should do, how we should behave, what we should not do. Right? Now, in the absence of that, if I just use logic, isn't my intellect limited to see the logic? Okay. But if I take something which is absolutely correct and at least valid for a far longer period of time, then I can keep that at the back of my mind and I can tweak it to suit the current. What I'm doing today is I'm converting anything and everything to my convenience and justifying it, rather than learning what is with conviction and adapting it to the current situation. Two differences, sir. I made two statements here. Hopefully, you have understood it. One, I understand and I have conviction, and then I adapt to the current situation. The other one is, whatever I feel logical, I adapt it and justify that with this logic it is correct. One is, both are subjective. Please understand, both are subjective. But one has a far more time tested historical reality, and the other one is freshly baked out of my mind, which I do not know whether it will be right or wrong. If you take all the scientific revelations, all the things, new things which they are finding out, discoveries and all, why is it changing with time? Few things they said it is good 10 years back, they were saying it is good. The same thing today they are saying it. No, no, that is not the correct picture. It may not be correct. There is some more thing to it. Why? That means that view was limited at that time. They could not even see 10 years hence what it is. Here, the question is not saying which is wise or unwise, but you can never negate a historic living for so many years which have followed it. It's a time tested, proven, and it has been fine tuned to suit many more situations. Are you able to get that? That is a much more rugged system instead of you promoting something new. Why? It is only to make it convenient to you, you're promoting it. Because if you accept the other one, it is not convenient to you. That is why you're opposing it, right? But the other one is time tested. It will always be there. You may agree or not agree, even after another 1,000 years, it may be there. Hinduism may be there or not be there. But that knowledge will still be there because that is the reality of the knowledge. Are you able to get what I'm trying to say? This aspect of getting information and knowledge from the Shastra, how to lead a dharmic way, it used to be there in our society. Right from childhood, this child, before the childhood itself, before this child is born itself, then the child used to be given an psychological and an emotional welcome by the mother being happy. Why is that? Sixth month, eighth month, a lot of things which are being done. महाराष्ट्र में ओटी भरने का बोलते हैं, सीमंतोन नयन पुंसवन. What are all this? It is welcoming that unborn child that we are waiting for you to come. It's a happy mood. We are all happy you're there. Imagine the same thing that after doing the test and knowing that, oh, I wanted a male child, this girl, female child, or I want the other way, and then I'm not happy about it. If the mother does, will not the child understand that I am an unwanted child in this world? Yes or no? That starts working right from the child. At that time, it starts working. And the basis of, we have an Upanishad on this. Garbhopanishad is there. There is an Upanishad on this. And based on this, Yogankur project is there by GMM. Dr. Ulkanathu's Yogankur project is based on that. That child knows right from how the mother and everything around the child gets a clear that am I a welcome or not welcome. Right? So right from that, then once the child comes, all those various things by which you make the child that you're a VIP. You're a very important person. You're needed in this world. And with that value, if the child is taken care, will the child have any inferiority complex? The child will not have. So our Shastras very clearly brought that value system out by our day-to-day activity of Dharma. It was not told do it for this purpose, but just by doing it, these were taken care. Comforts were not given to them. No comforts were given to any children. But at the same time, that you as an individual, at the same time, you as Brahman, That is the beauty of our system. The first name given to any child, if you go by the rituals, you have to tell you are Atmanaha, you are Brahman, and then only a name is given. Right from there, and that is why even in Sandhya Vandana, Asavadityo Brahma, Brahmaiva Aham Asmi, it starts there. It is seeded, the child doesn't know anything at the age of 8. What Aham Brahmasmi? Aham is also not known, Brahman is also not known what Aham Brahmasmi. But you fake it and make it. And you bring it into your culture, you bring it into your day-to-day working. You see the parents doing, you see the grandparents doing, you see the neighbors doing. It makes a big difference. Correct? If today we are saying that in Grihastha Ashrama we cannot be like a Pankaja, you mean to say the child will be like a Pankaja, keeping away? If put in filth, the child will become filthy. If put in Amrit, nectar, the child will be with nectar. What you fill in, that's what the child will have. Make sense? So it becomes our responsibility, our duty, our ownership taken by we ourselves to pass it on to the next generation. And they will continue to do it. And they will continue to do it. And in the meantime, if we say, what is going to happen? During our times, it was all like this. Now this generation is useless. They don't even listen. That only says, I am useless. It is not the next generation useless. I am useless. Okay. This conviction we should have. So, with this Purnatvam, that we are Purna, our earlier generations were Purnatva, our future generations will understand this Purnatva and they will be Purnatva. With this Mahotsava of Navaratri, we should take up a pledge to leave Dharmic life. The first 3 days, removal of filth, Durga Devi. Then all the nice gunas coming into us by Mahalakshmi. And once these two are there, Durgunas going, Sagunas coming, then Jnanam Mahasaraswati will give, and then Vijaya Dashami, you win on that. Okay, and hence it is our prime responsibility to pass it. Whatever these things have to be passed, not by teaching, by being a living example at all times in front of our next generation. If your children have grown up, your grandchildren are looking at you. If grandchildren are not staying with you, in your society, small children are looking at you. You cannot avoid being a Shrestha Purusha at any point of time in this society. Even at the deathbed, you are a Shrestha Purusha. Correct? And that is our responsibility. Correct? With this, we will get into this Shrestha Purusha not in the next Saturday. We will go on to 15th of October to get into Shrestha Purusha, because next Saturday I am going to be with a Shrestha Purusha, my teacher, and I am going to be next Saturday, Sunday with my teacher, so no class. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Okay, so as mentioned already, the Vijayadashmi or Dasara program, I have sent it in the WhatsApp. You all can join by Zoom. In case anyone coming home, very clearly it is home. I don't know who all are going to come. Who all are coming, we will manage and go ahead with that. But one request, if you are coming, get only one fruit and come. Otherwise, You will feel bad if I distribute it to everyone. Whatever you bring, I'm going to distribute it, which is known for so many years every time. But especially for new people, I'm telling, don't feel bad. Whatever you bring will be distributed. Okay, you all are all welcome. Come, we will see how to accommodate. If you are coming, do come. And the timetable schedule is given. I have ensured that we can, accordingly, people can come and movement is also possible little. Let us see. Let us pray to God that maximum accommodating with, I will not say least inconvenience, there will be inconvenience for all if many come. But that is how a teacher student relationship has to be. Okay. Hari Om Tat Sat.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಸರ್.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.